Welcome to another episode of Ring Walk Boxing Podcast. I am Bean, and today I want to talk about how styles make fights. Um, for instance, well, let me say Happy New Year to everybody, and hopefully you're being safe wherever you are. Please hit the thumbs up. But I want to talk about a few things, but I want to talk about styles make fights too, as well. Because sometimes you may not be the most elite fighter. You might not even be a world level fighter. Look at Jimmy Young. Back in the day, he had ended up having like 18, 19 losses. Yet, he lost against Muhammad Ali on a decision. But then he was able to beat George Foreman. You know, so like I said, Jimmy Young is not this high profile fighter, but yet he was able to beat somebody like George Foreman, who we would consider to be a great. Rest in peace to Big George Foreman, and rest in peace to Muhammad Ali. Look at Evander Holyfield, somebody else we revere. One of my personal favorites, the real deal Holyfield. For some reason, the style of John Ruiz really gave him fits. He really struggled with the style of John Ruiz. Granted, he was older, but still, I didn't feel that John Ruiz was at a level or anything to uh, somebody who was just so exquisite where you're like, man, he got a style, and it's like, wow, like a Usyk of today's day. He didn't have no style like that. John Ruiz was just who he was. But for some reason, he gave Evander Holyfield a lot of issues. Um, so you have examples of that. Styles make fights or triangle theories don't work. Um, Again, Muhammad Ali, a great fighter, had a trilogy with Ken Norton, um, and close ones. Close fights and a style that Ken Norton had with the cross arm guard and his awkward style gave Ali issues. But then somebody like George Foreman, who Ali beat, who Ali stopped, he went in there and made short work of Ken Norton. So that's just how boxing is. It's like that. Saying that to say, in 2026, this year we're in, um, Usyk versus Deontay Wilder. Most likely is going to happen at some point. So I feel though, going back to the styles make fights, there is a chance that Deontay Wilder could be the very first person. Not saying it will definitely happen or indefinitely, but there's still that possibility that Deontay Wilder could land that Hail Mary, that right hand rocket, and stop Usyk. Now, I lean towards Usyk if they fight, but like I said, you can never count out Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder because he possesses a supernatural and that type of power you just don't see. It's just something that you're born with and you have, and he has it honestly. Um, Shout outs to my fam Cam J and Ohio Runs Boxing, Marcus. When they showed some clips of Ernie Shavers, I want to say Ernie Shavers was from down south, maybe Alabama originally, but he was raised up here in Ohio. And he had power like that. He had raw punching power. George Foreman said, I never fought him. I'm happy I never did. Larry Holmes said, hey, I don't even know how I got back to my feet and I still got a knot on my head to this day from Ernie Shavers. So that Ernie Shavers supernatural born power, that's what uh, Deontay Wilder has. He has that possession of power. And it's just something that, all it takes is that split second lapse of your opponent. They catch you and woo, before you know it, you're there and they're counting to 10 and you may not get up. So we're going to see if 2026 brings us uh, the Usyk versus Wilder. Um, so if there is a particular matchup you want to see in 2026, uh, what would it be? What would your match be? Um, I want to see. I mean, the Usyk and Wilder situation kind of it came out the blue by Usyk himself calling out Wilder. But if it's up to me, the fight I want to see is um, Boots Ennis versus Virgil Ortiz. I definitely want to see Jerron Boots Ennis versus Virgil Ortiz um, this year. Um, Initially, I wanted to see Fury versus Anthony Joshua, but some things are bigger than boxing. We heard about the tragic accident that happened with two people, two young men losing their lives in Nigeria, Africa, and that Anthony Joshua was a passenger in that vehicle. So right now, although he's a survivor, the mental scars, the trauma, the fact that he lost a best friend and his physical trainer, all of that's going to probably bother him mentally to where he may not want to focus on boxing. I had this talk with my cousin KG. We kind of had this talk. So it's one of two things with AJ, in my opinion. Either Anthony Joshua is going to be has so much trauma to where it'll bother him mentally, and he won't box again, or he'll use this terrible experience, but in the memory of his best friend, in the memory of his trainer, he may use that as fuel to get back in the ring and fight Tyson Fury. So I don't know. I don't know how that's going to go, if we'll ever see it. But if we don't, I do understand. Because, like I say, and like Jake Paul said in his tweet, certain things are bigger than boxing. Life itself. Um, you know, just life just has this way of never knowing. Um, just lost somebody um, that I know. You know, I'm not sure if it happened last night or if it happened this morning, but it's like life is just way too short. So now it's like every single day, I know every second of every minute of every day, I know it's just a blessing to wake up. It's a blessing to open my eyes and see the sun or see some snow if it's snowing. Just it's just, man, life is short and it's unpredictable on what will occur in your lifetime. Um, all right, so let's talk a little bit about, since we're in January, today is the first. At the end of this month, we will have Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez. Um, Jermaine Ortiz is a good fighter, and when I saw him against Tio, it's like I feel like although he moved around well, he could have been a little more active. Sometimes take a gamble a little bit You know, you got to bet on yourself certain times in a fight. He should have gambled a little bit and not been overzealous, but still, uh, he needed a higher percentage of output of punches. Jermaine Ortiz wasn't busy enough to beat Teofimo Lopez. I feel like Shakur Stevenson will um, will kind of be the opposite in that regard. He's going to have a nice amount of punches that he's going to output. He's going to throw combinations. Um, so it's going to be interesting. Now, Tio, who's a natural counter puncher, I feel like Teofimo needs to press the action a little more because he's fighting somebody like Shakur who's trying to outpoint him, who's trying to outwit him. He's going to need to go to the body of Shakur as much as he can. I think they have a very similar reach, so no one really has a major reach advantage. Please hit the thumbs up. Um, yeah, so I mean that's going to be another good fight. That's a fight that we know is official. Um, Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez. I like that style matchup. It's one of those type of situations to where it could be a very exciting and interesting fight, or it could be a fight where it's too much of a chess match and it's not enough action. But in my opinion, I feel like Teofimo will gamble more. In the words of Roy Jones, he said, "Hey, in order to win, Teofimo must gamble some. He's going to have to go in there and let his hands go instead of being a counter puncher and waiting at every opportunity. He's going to have to initiate the attack." I feel like Teofimo is athletic as well. He has nice speed as well, so he can match the energy of Shakur. Now I give Shakur a little more as far as all around technician, and he's really, really, really what you call a pure boxer, for sure. But I think Teofimo, if he plays his cards right, he can win this fight. I don't see any reason that he couldn't. Um, so it's definitely a 50-50 in my opinion. I know a lot of people feel like Shakur is levels above him and moving up from 135 to 140. They think Shakur could easily beat Teofimo Lopez. Um, but I don't know, man. I just feel like Teofimo is going to come out here. He knows what's at stake, so I don't think he's going to lay down. I don't see Teofimo Lopez laying down, and I think this is a type of fight and a type of fighter that's going to make him get up for the fight. Like he did with Lomachenko. Although he kind of struggled a little bit with Sandor Martin, who's a southpaw as well. Um, I don't think that you got to look at every specific thing though, because yes, Sandor Martin he might have somewhat struggled with, but Shakur to me probably doesn't hit as hard as Sandor Martin, and maybe we could attribute some of that to the hand problems he has. So that might be a situation to where Teofimo can take advantage of the fact, because I think he's going to be willing to step, in that phone booth more often. He needs to keep Shakur going back. He needs to get Shakur against the ropes as much as possible. I think that's what he's going to need to do. Um, I don't see Shakur fighting him like he did Zepeda. I don't think he's going to take those type of risks. I think he knows that, hey, Teofimo, if I'm not careful, he can get me up out of here. So he's going to be um, on a very, very high level, a high trajectory of boxing, if you ask me. But let me know what y'all think, in the comment section or in the chat. Um, And big shout outs to all my Zone 15 family, Zone 15 Cincinnati. Um, I was out there in Laughlin for a hot second yesterday, and able to see my peoples out there, my family, like my cousin J5. Um, Shout out to him. Um, and shout out to my Smith family in Laughlin, my Woodline family, my Price family, Matthews family, just reminiscing down the memory lane. My Lincoln Heights family, down the hill and up the hill, um, on my mother and my dad's side. Shout outs to the Zone 15 family for sure, and my family in the city, from Madisonville, downtown, west side, everywhere around the city, Hamilton, Ohio, my family up that way. My cousin Mac up at Hamilton, Mac Frierson and them. Shout outs. Um, yeah, so when it comes to that fight, like I said, I'm going to say 50-50 in my opinion. Shakur and Tio. On that same card, Jarrell Big Baby Miller will be doing his thing against Kingsley, um, an African-born fighter who resides here in America now. I feel like Jarrell Miller is going to win this fight because he's durable. He has a good chin. You know, he has a decent engine to be a big dude like that. He has a good engine, and he has a nice output of punches. So, and he can take body shots too, because when he fought Daniel Dubois, Dubois was going upstairs and downstairs, and we all know Dubois is a true puncher. Dubois has like a 92 or 95% KO ratio. So I don't foresee this guy he's going to fight, Kingsley, being able to stop him. True enough, Kingsley did stop um, um, the guy that Deontay Wilder fought, and Charles Martin. I can't think of his name. Oh, Gerald Washington. He did stop Gerald Washington. Kingsley did, but Gerald Washington, he's pretty much like that gatekeeper they use uh, in that position that people go through it. They go through as they move up. Um, so that to me, him beating Kingsley to me doesn't give me confidence that he'll beat Jarrell Big Baby Miller. Big Baby Miller is there to be hit, but like I said, he could take a punch, and he was taking punches from big dudes and big punchers. Um, so Kingsley, I think, gets stopped by Big Baby Miller. I would say between rounds 6 and 8. Between 6 and 8 rounds, I think that Jarrell Miller is going to stop Kingsley. So let me know what y'all think in the chat below. And then I see some more training footage of Claressa Shields. Shout outs to Claressa out of Flint, Michigan. She's looking really, really good. And of course, at the same time, those photos had resurfaced again from her old photo shoot ESPN did. She did a photo shoot, and now all these pictures are back in rotation on social media. But these are old pictures. A lot of people didn't realize she did a photo shoot like maybe 10 years ago, 8 years ago. So basically, those pictures were already out. So no, it's not AI for everybody's commenting. Are these AI pics of Claressa Shields? No, it's not artificial. It's not artificial intelligence. It's the actual pictures from her photo shoot. So salute to Clarissa Shields, who will be fighting next month in Detroit, Michigan, against Franchon Cruz Dezern. I think that in that scenario, speed is going to be a factor. I think the speed, the tenacity, the footwork, the all around movement, and the ring IQ of Clarissa Shields is going to prove to be too much for Franchon Cruz Dezern. Franchon does have power, but to me, she doesn't have the educated feet um, like Clarissa Shields, and she probably won't be punching. Um, you know, her output of punches won't be at a high level like Clarissa. Clarissa's gonna be throwing some combinations, and man, when I seen her turning over those punches on with her mitt guy, Clarissa is looking very sharp. She's looking very sharp. So, uh, you know, I mean, I understand the first time they fought was like 10 years ago, and she didn't have a full camp. Franchon Cruz Dezern, she'll have a full camp this time, but I don't really think that that's going to really make a huge difference, in my opinion. And Clarissa has not lost, so it's not like she's going to be there for the taking. You know, Clarissa Shields is very intelligent, educated in that ring, so I definitely see um, Clarissa winning a decision on this fight against Franchon Cruz. But I mean, it's not. I don't see her knocking her out, but potentially stopping her late. I don't know if it's going to be a 10 round fight, but we can try to see if we get details on that. Is that going to be a 10 round fight or not? Is Clarissa Shields' next fight a 10 round fight or 12? Yes, a 10 round fight. So maybe round 8 or 9, Clarissa, if she can get Franchon, to start burning, gassing out and stuff like that, she can definitely capitalize on it. She could definitely capitalize on the fact that she's getting tired, and Clarissa has a pretty good gas tank herself, so she can go 10 rounds. She's done it before, and we seen her drop Danielle Perkins. Uh, that was like 2 or 3 fights ago. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But I'm definitely edging Clarissa Shields to win that fight. Now the MVP card with Amanda Serrano is coming up. I seen her working out. She's looking real sharp as well. And they'll be fighting. They'll be fighting this weekend, this Saturday. So look forward to that. Look forward to Amanda Serrano fighting at her normal weight, because of course she had stepped up to fight Katie Taylor in the trilogy, but now she'll fight, and of course her titles are the WBO and the WBA women's featherweight. So I'll be uh, I'll be looking forward to seeing her, and I'll probably talk more about this on on tomorrow, or maybe on Saturday morning. I might go live again, and I'll talk a little bit more about the MVP card and stuff like that for Amanda Serrano, who's the headliner. All right, so make sure you hit the thumbs up, Even if you play this back and catch it later on, please hit the thumbs up. Please share. Uh, like I say, tell a friend or three about Ring Walk Boxing Podcast. Um, Going live every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Um, oh, yeah, and like I said, we got the Ring Walk hats, the t shirts, Ring Walk Boxing Podcast t shirts in different colors. Um, Online store. Got the hats. Um, Shout outs to my fam Trill from Seven Hills. My cousin Trill for the In Your Face magazine. Um, Had me on the cover of the August of last year. So shout outs to everybody on the committee for In Your Face magazine. For sure, for sure. All right, so everybody have a good New Year's Day. Like I said, be safe. Um, watch out because the state boys will be out there for sure, and people still drink and drive. So just be careful for that kind of stuff. You know, just be a very defensive driver and cautious driver. And I'll catch you on the next round. Peace.